It'll be the old guard versus new blood for a chance at a Big East tournament title. This is Adesina Koiki on the floor of Madison Square Garden in New York City, wrapping up day 3 of our coverage of Championship Week on A Lot of Sports Talk and ALOTofSportsTalk.com. And history was made here on the floor of Madison Square Garden tonight. The first semifinals in Big East tournament history in which both games were decided by 2 points. In game number 1, it was the top seed, the Villanova Wildcats, eking past the number 4 seed, the Providence Friars, 63-61. Now, a day after the Villanova Wildcats hit a tournament-tying record 17 three-pointers in their quarterfinal round win against the Marquette Golden Eagles, the Wildcats only hit 7 of their 23 three-point attempts. But in the ball game, they were carried by their big man in the middle, Daniel Ochefu. 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 block shots, patrolling the lane for the Villanova Wildcats and carrying them to victory. For the Providence Friars, they lose the game, but not because of the play of their star point guard, Chris Dunn, the co-Big East Player of the Year. 22 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds in the game, but his effort in vain. Villanova advances to the championship game tomorrow night, where they will take on the number 6 seed, the Xavier Musketeers, a second consecutive upset by seed. The Musketeers pull off tonight, defeating the Georgetown Hoyas by a score of 65-63, the number 6 Musketeers over the number 2 Georgetown Hoyas in the ballgame. The Xavier Musketeers established a 21-point lead in the second half and almost gave it all away. The Hoyas cut it to a 1-point game late in the ball game, but Xavier able to see off the Georgetown Hoyas to advance to the championship game tomorrow night. And after the game, I talked with Xavier big man Matt Stainbrook. He had 20 points and 9 rebounds in the ball game, and I asked him to begin our conversation. Being in New York City, known for Broadway plays and dramas, it was Xavier's plan to let a 21-point lead slip and set up the grandstand finish at the very end, right?
Yeah, we wanted to make it a close one, exactly. You read my mind.
Oh, I did. Yeah. All right. Let's see what's next. I'll do my Johnny Carson impression. No. Anyways, you were so impressive for about the first 20, 25 minutes of the ball game. First of all, why are you guys so successful against the Georgetown Hoyas? What matchup or matchups do you exploit? 3 games, 3 wins this season?
You know what? I think we do a good job of scouting them. We sort of frazzle them on defense, and that leads to a lot of good transition points for us on offense. And then also, I think we do a good job of sharing the ball. Our team's always assisting, always passing the ball. And, when you can move a ball against a team like that, then you're doing a good job.
It's a team game, but players always get motivated going up against similar players. Josh Smith in the lane as well. So you must have really been keyed up going into this game, going up against and banging bodies with Josh Smith again.
Definitely. He's a really good player. And, I always get amped up being able to play him because I think I can measure my success, when I play against him and how well I do. And, most respect for him, and I think he's a really, really good player.
21-point lead in the second half. Did you guys lose focus?
I don't know if we lose focus, but we sort of took our foot off the pedal. I think we got a little tentative. We started to play, hey, we're up, let's win the game. And that's what we can't do. And, I'll take blame, senior leadership, stuff like that, where, we can't let it get away from us. And, I'm glad we won. I'm happy we won. In the end, we ended up, being focused and doing everything. But we can't play tentative. We've always got to play aggressive.
How do you not let it get away against Villanova tomorrow night?
You know what? You got to play 40 minutes really strong. If you play 35 minutes of good basketball and 5 minutes of bad basketball, you're not beating them. They're a really good team, so yeah.
You're really hard on yourself. A lot of times you're patting yourself on the chest when you're making a play that you think that you should have made a little bit better. You're your own harshest critic.
Yeah, I feel I take it personal when I mess up, when I don't do something wrong, when I don't get a loose ball. That angers me a lot, but overall, I just try to keep a short-term memory and go on to the next play.
It's about 1 o'clock right now. You had the game yesterday that ended really late. Are you a person that stays up late?
No. I'm usually definitely in bed by now, and I'm going to get a couple of Z's and wake up tomorrow renewed and energized.
Matt Stainbrook, congratulations on the win. Xavier to the Big East Tournament Final where they'll take on the Villanova Wildcats. Matt, thank you so very much for joining us. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
So the Big East Championship game set for tomorrow night. Actually, let me amend that. Later tonight, as the number 1 seed Villanova Wildcats take on the number 6 seed, the Xavier Musketeers. For the Wildcats, they're looking for only their second Big East tournament title in program history. Their first came back in 1995, back when the high socks of Kerry Kittles was roaming around the floor of the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. So stay tuned to a lot of sports talk and a lot of sportstalk.com, where we recap day 3 of our championship week coverage. We started out in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York for the Atlantic 10 Tournament Championship, and we talked with a couple of main players on day 3. Tyler Kalinowski of the Davidson Wildcats hit the game-winning layup at the buzzer for the top seed Wildcats in their quarterfinal win against the LaSalle Explorers. We had a conversation and interview with Tyler Kalinowski after the game. We also talked with Dayton's Jordan Seibert, the number 2 seed Flyers, defeating the St. Bonaventure Bonnies 75-71 in the quarterfinal round. The semis of the A10 tournament set the number 1 seed Davidson Wildcats against the number 5 seed the VCU Rams. Then in game number 2, the number 2 seed Flyers will take on the number 3 seed the Rhode Island Rams. Michael Castellano will have coverage from the Barclays Center tomorrow from the A10 tournament semifinals. As for myself, I'm going to start in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania tomorrow, the 1-game playoff between Harvard and Yale at the world-famous Palestra in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We will have coverage of that game for you, and then we will race back here to Madison Square Garden for the 8 o'clock start of the Big East Tournament Championship game, the number 1 seed Villanova Wildcats and the number 6 seed the Xavier Musketeers. From the floor of the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, my name is Adesina Koiki for a lot of sportstalk.com.